What is going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. This video is going to be a little different. I've been getting a lot of questions in how I create my gaming thumbnails for YouTube, and I'm just going to quickly go over and show you guys how I do it. So I'm just going to show you quickly the dimensions. It's just 1280 by 720. That's what YouTube recommends. So here's an example of a thumbnail that I created for my most recent video. If you haven't seen it, make sure you go check it out. I'm just going to use this outline border and the text from this video, so it will just make the process so much easier. If you're looking how you can get a border like this, I just found it in a texture pack on YouTube that you can just look up and download. I'm gonna go ahead and drag the text over as well. Okay, now for the text, I'm just gonna go ahead and change this to gaming thumbnail, because that's what this video is about. I'm gonna just move this over, line this up. I'm gonna just go ahead and move this and change the size of it real quick, and I'll adjust it if I need to later on in the video. So typically the kind of font that I like to use for my thumbnails is usually big noodle titling, and I usually get my fonts from a website called thefont.com. All the websites and resources that I use to get my stuff will be down in the description below. So a website that I typically like to go to and get my pictures from is a website called uhdpaper.com. It's a really good website for high resolution images. I'm going to go ahead and just type in League of Legends since I do a lot of League videos. Find an image that you like. I like this one. And then you're just going to scroll down, and then you're going to see these resolutions. Just click on the one that you like. And once this pops up, all you're going to do is just right click on it, and you're going to save or copy the image and just import it into your project. So once it's in your project, you're just going to click the check mark. And as you can tell, I need to rasterize this layer. So I'm just going to right click it, click rasterize layer. And I'm going to drag it down to make sure it's below everything else, so this pops up over it. I'm going to go ahead and resize it. So I'm going to click this. I'm going to hold Shift and Alt to keep the dimensions. I'm just going to scale it upwards. And if I'm going to zoom out, I'm going to hold Alt and just use my scroll wheel. And I'm just going to move this and keep scaling it up. That's what I really like this website, is because when I do stuff like this, it keeps the resolution and it doesn't distort the picture at all. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and throw this little PNG image inside my project. As you can see, it has like a transparent background. If you're looking for an image that has like a transparent background, I typically just go to Google and just look up what I'm looking for that has transparent backgrounds. And for the sake of this video, I'm just going to use this Challenger icon. So I'm going to go ahead and rotate this. I'm going to move this over. I'm going to zoom in a little bit, and I'm just going to click OK. That looks pretty good. And one thing I like to do is this. I like to grab the eraser tool. Oh, make sure you rasterize this layer so you can make changes to it. Zoom in, and I like to erase the edges inside behind the text to make it look like the image is kind of like coming out of the text in itself. I'm going to go over here. I'm going to hold Alt, and I'm going to click and drag down to make a copy. Make sure the bottom one is selected. I'm going to click over here, and I'm going to hold Alt and Shift, and I'm going to scale it up a little bit. I'm going to click the check mark, go up here to Filter. I'm going to click Blur, and then we're going to go to Motion Blur. Now, typically the only thing that I change on this is just the angle. I usually leave the distance at 10. It just adds this nice little blur effect on the background, and just click OK. So once you do that, all you're going to do is just come over here to the right again. I'm going to double click this folder. I'm going to go ahead and add a drop shadow, and I like to add gradient overlay to give it like a highlight effect. And all I'm going to do is just come over here, change it to overlay, and then lower the opacity to like 75% and just click OK. And that's typically what I do for that. So one other thing I also like to do usually is, like, when I have images, I like to add like a little more highlights to make certain things pop. So I'm going to add a highlight to this little blue crystal right here. So all I'm going to do is just come down here, click this little paper icon, and it's going to create a new layer. Drag this new layer all the way up to the top, and change the title to highlights. Come over here to the left, grab your brush tool. I'm going to zoom in, hold Alt, and then if you hold Alt and click, you'll see this little icon right here pop up. Just find the color that you want, and then just click and apply it. Come over here. I like to go to overlay, and if it's too bright, you could just lower the opacity, but I think that looks just fine for the video. So one more thing that I like to do is just come over here to the right, click the top layer, Shift, hold, and click the bottom layer. Press Ctrl J if you're on Windows, and then press Ctrl E to merge layer. Click on this layer again, Shift and click again, and then press Ctrl G. And I like to change this title to edit this, so if I need to make changes I can. I like to change this one to final copy. And I'm going to make sure this top one is selected. Come up here to filter, and then we're going to go to camera raw filter. Boys, this is where the magic happens, okay? This is where all the juice and all the marbles come into play. So typically you're going to come up here to basic. This is what I like to do. I usually like to take the exposure, put it to like 0.35, and then for the contrast I'll do like 10. Highlights I typically don't touch. The whites and shadows, for the shadows I'll put it to like -17. For the whites, I'll put it up to like 10 and -13 for the black. For the texture, I'll put this up to 51. For the clarity, I'll put this at 14. Dehaze, I usually don't touch. For the vibrance, I'll put it up to 16. And then once I do that, I will typically come down here to detail. I'll up the sharpening and up the noise reduction just to make it look more crisp and clean. So I'll put this to 79 and this to 64. And if you want to change like the colors to make it look better like this, as you can see, you can do that typically. I'll do that sometimes if I feel like it's necessary, but in this case, I think this looks good. So I'm just gonna reset that, put that to 0, click OK. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found this very helpful in how you can make thumbnails just like how I make them. Let me know what you guys think. Give it a try. Hit that like, hit that subscribe button, turn the bell on. It is free and all the support does help. And make sure you check out my most recent video and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!